Hi guys, I'm filming a video for you guys. I've got a new video to film. How many times can I say that? We are going to review The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent today. It's the new Nicolas Cage film with Pedro Pascal, and it's very meta. It's very, it's interesting. So let's get into the plot synopsis a little bit. So The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent stars Nicolas Cage as Nick Cage. He's playing a version of himself, which is always fun when they do that in films. We have Pedro Pascal also in this film as the second headliner of the film. You also have Ike Barinholtz and Tiffany Haddish rounding out this excellent ensemble cast. The film centers around Nick Cage, who is trying to make his career relevant again. He's trying and failing. His ex-wife and his daughter, they're not on the best speaking terms. He likes to think that their relationship is wonderful, but again, Nick Cage is kind of a narcissist. He's mostly looking at himself and trying to reinvent his career. So he gets an offer for $1 million to go to this man's birthday party out in Spain. He declines until he finds out that he owes a hotel he's staying at almost $600,000, and then decides, you know what, this will be my last thing I do before I reinvent myself in my career. He goes to Spain, he meets up with Pedro Pascal, and he becomes kind of friends with him, actually, and then the CIA gets involved because there's been a kidnapping in Spain of a prominent president's daughter. The CIA gets Nick Cage involved to try and find this daughter who is believed to be found on Pedro Pascal's compound. Yeah, that's it. That's the basic synopsis. This film is it's interesting, right? I enjoyed it to an extent because I think Nick Cage is he's honestly a really good actor, but he's been the butt of the joke for years, right? Because he takes almost every role. He has debts to pay. I get it. But he also just chooses some strange movies to be in. But I'm tired of him being the butt of the joke because he's a really good actor, especially if you look at his earlier film career. But even his newer works, I didn't finish Mandy, I couldn't get into it, maybe I need to give it another shot, but I did watch Willy's Wonderland. He was terrific in that, despite having absolutely no dialogue. The man puts in a stellar performance and gives it his all in every movie. And I feel like this new movie, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, it's gonna be his John Wick, right? Because for a while there, Keanu was also the butt of everyone's joke. The man made some good movies in the early 90s, and then he made a lot of action movies, and he became known as one of the worst actors in Hollywood, which we know is not true. He just made some interesting film choices. Nick Cage is kind of the same, in my opinion. The man is a good actor, but he makes choices for the money, right? So I think this movie is going to be his John Wick, I hope. I hope it reinvents his career. I hope it makes people realize, yeah, we've been kind of making fun of him for no real good reason. And for that aspect, I enjoyed it. I thought he was wonderful. He played himself terrifically. I mean, how would you not? Him and Pedro Pascal had wonderful chemistry. But the problem for me was that the film relied really heavily on the very meta part of Nick Cage playing Nick Cage. That's what the whole plot kind of rests on, is they're like, oh, look at this. Look at this gimmick we have. Nick Cage is playing Nick Cage. Which is fine. It works to an extent, but it didn't hold the whole film up for an hour and 45 minutes. And that's where it kind of failed. Yes, there were some really funny moments, but there's a lot of moments that didn't stick, didn't land, and relied way too heavily on Nick Cage playing Nick Cage. Again, I loved him in it. He was phenomenal. Pedro Pascal was also fantastic. Hard to believe that this goofball man is also the Mandalorian. But I've loved Pedro Pascal since Game of Thrones, so it's wonderful to see him getting great roles as well. Again, him and Nick Cage were phenomenal together. Any scenes where they were together solo, like together in those scenes and just those two, perfect, excellent, hilarious. But as a whole, it kind of relies way too heavily on the whole Nick Cage is playing Nick Cage. So I give this movie about a 2.5 out of 5. It had some redeeming qualities, some funny moments, and it was an original movie. We finally have a new original movie in theaters. It just didn't stick the landing the way I think they hoped it would. But it's worth a watch, especially if you're a fan of Nick Cage or Pedro or anybody else in this film. They all did a pretty good job. So there's my review for The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I'm seeing The Northman later today. I should hopefully get a review up by this weekend. I'm very excited for that because I love Robert Eggers' films. So let's see how it goes. Until next time, guys, until The Northman review, hopefully by the end of the week. See you later.